BTC 109K on a Friday. We've just had some bearish news, but some big levels have held for now. So does that mean we can still get some kind of move this weekend? So guys, today we're going to break down what has actually happened here, why we got flushed out, and then we're going to take a look at some of these altcoin setups, which I still think could be bullish into this weekend. So we got tons to talk about here. Let's get right into it. Guys, and remember, as always, hit that like, hit the bell, and hit the subscribe there for me. And let me know in the chat, did you enjoy DJ and Dave's first live show last night? And I mean, he killed it with Leia, he killed it with Goat, and we printed a little bit there. So nice little one there for us. James is in the house. He was bullish, and then there was some news we're going to talk about.
And I got fucking rinsed.
He got rinsed. And, yeah. and I did chicken trading this morning, and I had to lend 𝗏𝗏𝗟𝗏 my chicken as well, James. And my chicken chose 3 shorts and 100 or 75x leverage, 3 shorts, and I got rinsed, and it chose 3 longs for Dave. So there's been an interesting.
So we both got rinsed this morning, then.
Yeah, we both got rinsed. There's a chicken there for you, Chris. Okay, let's go. What's going on here? Hype is breaking records at the moment. So Hype is at all-time high. I do believe we are going to get some kind of trade out of Hype, but we're not going to short this thing. We're going to wait for an entry. Okay, I've got a sob story for you on a whale. We saw eventually had to close his position. He got a bit rinsed on Hype. So we're going to talk about that. And so looking good. Peppy, nice breakouts last night on a lot of these altcoins. I'm talking about virtual today because I'm actually still in my virtual long at the moment, and it is putting a little bit of pressure on the upside here, and I'm actually contemplating whether we should close this one now or not. So that virtual is looking good. I'm talking about Dupe today, but I'm talking about it from a bearish short perspective. I think we might be a little bit late for the current Dupe move, so we might need to look at a couple of shorts there on that one. WLD, we're discussing that today, and look, we're going to cover a lot today, guys. Okay, it was a little bit of an interesting last couple of hours, but let's talk BTC and let's try and figure out what is going down. So let's talk bearish things first. So first things first, yeah, we've lost a rising trend. So this was this big rising trend that we were talking about, and there was obviously a news event now, and we've lost that trend. So now we had a major test level for BTC, and right now this zone could be considered a bearish retest right now. So anyone who's sitting long at the moment, myself included, we need to be a little bit watchful here as to what is going to go down now. So we're going to try and watch BTC with some dominance as well. But in terms of danger, 110, 150, this is a big zone for me. You can see typical bearish retest into 618, into horizontal, into trend. So we got to be cautious here. Obviously, this thing, if it starts breaking through, and maybe we get some more bullish news leading into later on today, and we're going to talk about that too. If we start reclaiming 110, then we can start getting a little bit more excited on BTC. Now, in terms of the 1 hour that I'm watching, I have picked up our first reversal. So this is telling me that we can maybe look for a higher high low on the price, and hopefully we'll get some kind of push up now on that oscillator. So in terms of BTC, based on that 1 hour, I would say let's look for a higher low, and we don't want to go much lower than say 108, 100. We don't want to really lose this magical VWAP. Look at it. It's performed for us 1, 2, 3 times. Okay, this was that banger long that I got off that VWAP the other day, and the VWAP's delivered again with a 382 again. Okay, so watch that area 108, 100. That is going to be my big zone of interest here on weakness. But a move like that, we got to have all eyes on dominance. This is going to be a super key player for us now this weekend. So that is where we are on BTC. Let's not look too much further. Obviously, if we start ripping this weekend, guys, you got that high 111,119.40. Okay, you've got that zone, and you're going to watch that as a big resistance area there for BTC. Okay, so that is the breakdown there. Now let's talk about some lickies. Okay, now there was obviously a lot going on here in the market. $550 million. It must have been higher. It must have been higher earlier, because there was a proper flush. And I nearly took lickies on Sol. I was sitting in a meeting for 3 hours, and Sheldon actually notified me. He was like, bro, this Sol is falling over. And I started cutting my position a little bit. So I'm still alive. And we're going to go through that Sol trade, because I think Sol is potentially still bullish for our 220 targets. Okay, so we just need a couple of things to go our way here, but I think we could be okay with regards to that. Now, what is the big news? Well, I mean, you guessed it. we back, okay? Tariff time again. That's a nice rally. Would be a shame if somebody tweeted about tariffs. Wouldn't that be a sad event? And that's exactly what went down thanks to Meme Master over here at Meme Master. Guys, why aren't you following Meme Master? This is crazy. I mean, this is proper quality here coming through for you guys. It's at Meme Master. And stock investors, especially after this bounce, because the stocks are turning over, but especially after this bounce, imagine how they are looking at BTC at all-time highs. He's locked on. He's locked. Keep your eyes on the prize, guys. Keep your eyes on the prize. Okay, what else is going on? So the trade war is back just as the 10-year note yield crosses above 4.6%. And how's this? President Trump threatened 25% tariffs on Apple, 50% tariffs on the EU. Okay, so this is going down. Now, James has a view because it's 50% on June the 1st. And I mean, obviously, these guys are going to come with their caps in hands and do something. So this is a news.
He's putting his foot down. He's telling them what they're going to do. It's threatening them. They're going to respond. They can't have 50% tariffs. And this is all going to be fixed before the 1st. This was just a nice little flush. Yeah, I'm sure this will get worked out. There's no way this is sticking.
As we have said multiple times, a trade war accomplishes all of Trump's economic goals at once. Okay, interesting that they want to keep this. They want to keep this thing rolling. Okay, so that was the news, guys. Okay, and then I don't know what's going on with Graham. He says, and we're right back to Walmart presidency. Every day lower prices.
Every day lower prices, guaranteed. That was pretty good. I usually don't like the guy, but that was good.
That was good. That was good. And JP Morgan, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citigroup, other major banks exploring creating a joint crypto stablecoin. Okay, that's pretty, I mean, that's pretty good news. That is pretty bullish. And don't forget, guys, let's not forget, if you get a little flush out, the FTX money is still coming in hot. Okay, so this is still on the table for us. Okay, so FTX is getting released. Release the Kraken. On the 30th of May, there's some liquidity coming into the market, and we're probably going to get some crypto degens getting involved. Okay, and as 𝗏𝗏𝗏 says, lest we forget the like button, guys. Hit the likes, hit the bell, hit the subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Okay. Thanks, 𝗏𝗏𝗏. He's the minister of likes there, I see in the chats. Okay, let's talk S&P, and we've now gapped down. Okay, so we had a small gap to the downside today. What are we holding currently? I mean, Mr. Reliable here in all formats. Okay, I'm going to show you so many results of this. The 200-day MA coming into play again, holding this thing up, even if it's temporary. That 200-day MA, we know people love selling into the 200-day and they love buying onto the 200-day. And here we go. So there's some buying coming in on the 200-day. And in terms of our oscillator on the daily, we are still bearish here on the S&P. But I mean, again, I'm really just want to see this divergence. I'll be so excited if we get one more pump on that S&P, just send us into those highs and then drop us back down. I mean, that would be a dream situation here for some kind of short on BTCC. So 6,100, 6,150, that is still a possibility here for me. Let's watch how this plays out, but going to be super patient with that. And then in terms of shorting a couple of stocks, well, I chose Microsoft, obviously, and a couple of others are actually falling over. Now, Apple would have been quite a nice bet, and you can see where we rejected our 0.5 fib and horizontals there. Nice pump into that zone. And now, look, I'd say it's too late to dive into an Apple short here because he's just threatening. Okay, it's not he's not locking it in. Okay, he threatened them. So obviously there was a little bit of panic, but I wouldn't say that's locked in just yet.
Thing is, I mean, if he's saying they have to be made in America, they already went through this, and I remember these whoever these analysts going through. So, okay, those phones are going to cost between $30,000 and $100,000 if they're fully produced in America. Yes. So that's never going to happen. So
no, it's not. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Something will resolve itself. Okay, so there's two key levels here as to where we can long this. We can long this Apple again. That's interesting to me and a little bit sketchy. Okay, obviously we're gonna try and ride the 618 because we do have some confluence there, but we got to let this oscillator play out now. I want to see a proper reversal here. I want to see this thing start doing that, and if it's floating around at 186, that is going to be a zone for me. Alternatively, definitely looking for longs here on Apple. This is going to be a banger. If it comes, 166 is what we want to see. So 186, 166, that for me is where we start getting a little bit interested. Now, in terms of what's going on for me on BTCC, I'm currently short Microsoft. And when I heard the news, I was actually quite excited. I thought I was going to be nice and green, but this Microsoft is a warrior. And they are holding this thing up at major resistance. Are we going to have another situation like we had with Google, where they just messed around, and all of a sudden, bang, they came and dropped it down? So I am holding out for that play. You can see we're sitting at resistance. I've got another order at 464, and I'm going to exit if we candle close above 470. So above that region, I'm going to start cutting that position. So right now, still just trying to be super patient, because I believe we are going to get this gap full on Microsoft at some point, and I'd love it to be in the next week or so. And so we can get out of that trade. I've been sitting in this trade, James, I don't know, bro, 7 days, 10 days, maybe longer. It's been a while. Okay, so I'm trading that one on BTCC. And then in terms of gold, well, it's actually moved into quite a big rejection zone now. Okay, so gold traders, pay attention. This is our secondary big one. I'm tracking it here on the 8 hour, and this is the first chart I'm going to show you gold. I've got another lower time frame one, but you can see we are moving into 3370. This is a high probability rejection zone, and you can see on our 8 hour we might be printing some bearish divergence as well here. So any higher time frame gold traders, you want to try this with me on BTCC. Lower high could be in play here on the oscillator, and then we might be able to grab a short somewhere in that region. Okay, so let's take a look at the lower time frame stuff, and you can see we've already hit the short zone that I gave you guys yesterday, and we've rejected off that once, and now we are climbing back in. Obviously, I missed that short trade. It happened, I think it happened in the middle of the night. Or when did it happen? No, it happened this afternoon while the market was falling over. So only a 1% dip so far, but in terms of danger zones, there we go. Okay, this is our danger zone, 3370. So there's a possible short coming there. And if you're tracking it on lower time frames, obviously you want to see these reversals. So just let it play out, let it consolidate, and then you want to see that reversal on the oscillator at your resistance zone, and then you should be okay there with a little bit of a short. Did Acid take a lickies there? And I nearly got that licky, I nearly got that licky on Sol, guys. Yes, it was close. But I'm going to show you what's going on there. And Matthew Highland talking about BTC targets. He's saying 131. So he's pulled that simple 1618 fib. And he says that the weekly closes above prior all-time highs, then that is the target. Okay, and that I agree with that. That makes a lot of sense to me. And remember, guys, when the shit's hitting the fan and the market is falling over and everybody is panicking, what is the first thing you do? Okay, let me know in the chats. If you've been watching the show long enough, what is the first thing you do when the shit hits the fan? Okay, let me know. Okay, I'm waiting patiently here. Let's see. Domenico says Sol was bang on. Guys, I got that Sol chart. It's actually going well according to plan, actually. We complain. Yeah, that's one of the options. Okay, guys, if the shit's hitting the fan and you lost in 1 hour, 15-minute candles, zoom out. Okay, do not panic. Zoom out and say, where are my big levels? And this is the big daily level that I gave you guys yesterday on BTC. Remember, we need to zoom out. We can get lost in lower time frames all day long. And when things start capitulating or moving fast, we need to zoom out and look at this. BTC held its bullish level here, 107, that type of region, 107,400. That was our first line of bullish support that I gave you guys yesterday. Okay, so nice big zone there in terms of BTC on the daily, and that is still our no panic zone. So we could ideally get some chop here. If we get some chop on BTC on this daily, I suspect we get some more action on the altcoin. So this could be super bullish for the market as a whole, as long as we're holding above that zone. When we start losing this trend, wow, then we're in deep shit. Okay, then we are going to be talking some super low levels. But right now, that 97K is a banger on your daily time frame. Okay, so remember, always zoom out, guys. And talking about charts and things like that, don't forget the daily candle. It's free. Okay, it gets sent to your email inbox. All you need to do, go into the show description, sign up for it, and you get wait, not that one, this one. Okay, sign up for it there. Go to more. All the links I talk about, everything is there. Daily candles there. It's free TA for you guys, and the hackers do every Thursday. So you're gonna get free alpha there with the daily candle. Okay, let's go Okay, BTC, we know what the plan is here. 108-100. Let's watch that zone. That is obviously going to be super important for us. In terms of lickies now on the 1 week, I'm watching this guy, and what we need to see is that we've got a big thick band of liquidity down to 102k. Okay, and that ties in with that whales liquidation point. Where's that whales liquidation? I don't think I got his tweet, but it's somewhere around 101. Okay, there's a guy with $1 billion BTC long at the moment. Okay,
it was 1019 when I checked it this morning. I sent that to DJ and Dave here this morning, and it was just below 102.
Okay, so you can see this whole band. If the market makers want to have some fun this weekend, all the way down, they'll come and liquidate that guy. Okay, so that is on the table for us. We do have a little bit of action to the upside, so I'm not discounting a push into 112 again to clean up those shorts. Everyone's getting clever now. Remember, there's probably a lot of late shorters now on BTC after the dump. Okay, so look out here. This upside could be interesting to us. I've got an interesting chart for you with USDT dominance that I think is going to maybe help us with a couple of things. Now, I just want to remind you guys again, Ben Cowan is calling an alt capitulation versus BTC, and this is on the table. You know, we cannot be upset because Uncle Ben has warned us. All right. And we're going to keep our eyes on this thing, and we're going to watch dominance at the same time. But what we have noticed, obviously, is all these narratives are coming back. Okay, and look at one of the best performers here, RWAs. Okay, has been doing relatively well at the moment, and things are coming alive again. So there is positivity here in the market, and I'm really hoping DJ and Dave is in the house. I saw he was in the chats there, and look at the saga, Dave. I've got the saga chart, and maybe Dave should take a look at us. Look at the saga here for us, because Mew and Saga are looking pretty shorty here at the moment. So in terms of the other tokens, we back into the neutral phase. What I want to see to try and remain relatively bullish is we want to keep them above that neutral level, but a lot of them are dropping lower. So this prom, for example, is moving into heavily oversold conditions. That might be something you want to look at for a potential bounce at some point. And the hot guys, you obviously want to stay away unless you are hunting some shorts. Okay, so the saga is an interesting one. I think the saga, I've got the chart ready. I think it's going to give us a short at some point. So if Dave's here, obviously he can have a look at it for us. I saw him in the chats. Otherwise, I'll pull that one out for you guys. Okay, so BTC dominance in terms of rejection zones, it wasn't perfect, but it does respect TA pretty well. Look at that beautiful horizontal here for us, and we've got to push into that horizontal, and now we really just want to see this thing start dropping. So we have printed a lower high, and we want to see this candle now close under this 50-day MA. Obviously, it's pretty annoying because that 50-day MA is acting as huge support at the moment. Look at that, bang, 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 bang. So what we want to see is this 50-day MA lost, and I think there's a possibility this happens because even on dominance, you quite often find that these wicks do get filled. Okay, so there is a possibility that they are going to come and fill that wick at least, and that might give us one more alt bounce here out of the market. And what was that prediction there, Dave? Is that BTC will do the same as gold on the 15-minute chart? What's that? Pump or dump? What does he think? Down? He wants to send it down? Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see. And Riley says, let's go chart hackers. Guys, remember, all these charts that you see on the show, they go straight into chart hackers directly after the show for you guys. Okay, so it will be there ready and waiting. Okay, so dominance we want to see going down. This was interesting. Now, this morning I did a very short private hacker Zoom this morning because I had a couple of things going on. One of them was trading a chicken. Okay, this morning, which was actually fun. I mean, it was actually really fun. And I'm actually thinking, I think we're going to do this chicken once a week. I'm actually talking to the guy now, trying to see if he can do chicken trading with me. But in terms of USDT dominance, there was a sign this morning. So things were looking good. Sol was looking nice and bullish. The market was looking nice and bullish. And I took the Hail Mary play on Sol on that break of the 200-day MA. So I started adding to my Sol position. And the one warning sign that I was watching or looking for was this bearish retest of the 50-day moving average. Okay, so as you can see, the bearish retest of the USDT dominance. So what happened here is we've dropped our bear flag. We had a nice print. We printed another bear flag, and we've lost the bear flag, and you've noticed the alts have popped. Okay, so that has dropped nicely. Bitcoin's performed, and what typically happens after you lose a trend is you get a bearish retest. Now, this came through a little bit quicker than expected. I mean, it happened in a short space of time, but there is still bull source on the table for you guys. So what I want to say is here, we just want to keep this under that 200-day MA. Let's keep it under 4.6%. And if this USD USDT dominance remains under there, closes under that zone, then I would say there's a chance that things are going to turn bullish again, and we might get this move now to these lower levels. Okay, but just promise me one thing: if we do get a major pump out of the market, that is where we are exiting. Okay, that is where we are getting out, because that is where you're going to get quite a hard bounce, or you should get quite a hard bounce on this USDT dominance. Now, what's going on in the chats here? I see everybody's laughing, everybody's having fun here. Who took lickies? Who got lickies here? Who got lickies in the chat? Okay, I swear I nearly got lickies on that soul. It was proper squeaky bum time. Proper. Let me know how you guys are doing. Chris says 100 USDT for Jeff for the win. Straight to Hull says Cosmo, it's good to have you back, sir. Nice to have you back. And Lulu says, Daddy Dylan, hello. And Trucko got super rinsed, bro. It was not pleasant. Okay, that was not pleasant. Okay, let's go. Let's get, here's our whale. Okay, so this whale now, and apparently he's trading these big sizes. Open a long 25x leverage on ETH, so he basically long the top, 2,666. And I was looking for his lickies, and I couldn't see his lickies. Okay, he's got 0 lickies on this one at the moment. So he's long BTC $800 million. I mean, is this real? He's long ETH $60 million. He looks like he's long 𝗘𝗵𝗿, so that must be Peppy, 26 million. And 𝗬𝗰, well, he might get rinsed there on some 𝗬𝗰 there. He's 80 million long, but that 𝗬𝗰, there's been a little bit of FUD around 𝗬𝗰 at the moment. But there's no liquidation on his ETH, which I found was interesting. But he literally bought the top. He basically did what I did today, well, except Sol was breaking through that 200-day MA. I was looking for that big push. But now ETH is actually printing McDonald's for us. Okay, so we might be in for quite a tough weekend here if this thing starts playing out. So in terms of ETH, guys, big resistance, as you can see, 200-day moving average 2,700, massive danger zone here for us. And in terms of short-term degen support, I've dropped this level here yesterday, 2,500. It seems to be getting respected at the moment. So degens, that's your safest level. Okay, if you are going to start moving lower, where do you want to long this thing? If we get a sell-off, 2,350, that looks reasonable. And then I've got the banger. There's a banger right here. Look for a wick onto that VWAP, 2,200. Look for that wick onto that VWAP. I'm telling you, that could be a banger on a quick drop on ETH this weekend. You might find yourself surprised there. You could get a nice pump out of that thing. Okay, so there's some key ETH levels there for you guys. I'm obviously not trading ETH at the moment, but Peppy, yeah. This was wild. Okay, so yesterday I gave you guys this level. This level was a 236 foot pool there, bang. Okay, and what did we do? We dropped onto that zone yesterday, absolute rocket ship off that thing, but it looks like we are coming back now. So if we are taking the bias, that BTC might print a higher low, okay, and maybe start holding these levels, you got to decide what your call is here. Then you're probably going to find some of these alts that have jumped and pumped, they're going to fill some of their wicks or print higher lows, and then there might be an opportunity there for some kind of double bottom play. So in terms of Peppy, if you want to play safe, the first area you want to watch is that region, 141. Okay, this 141 zone, that is the first area. That will be this wick fill, and that makes sense. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of late longs in that area, and then they're going to get flushed out. So remember, sometimes you just need to be a little bit more patient and let these things come to you. If you've missed a big pump or you've missed a big dump, you don't want to react too early, because if you get those wicks on those candles, the odds start stacking against you that they do come back and just fill those wicks a little bit there. Okay, so just be careful for Peppy until you hit 141, and then let's see if we get some kind of reaction there. So by the time we hit that zone, we should get some kind of relief here. Let's watch and see how this 2 hour goes, and just give it a bit of time. Okay, so 141 for me on Peppy, and then lower down, it's a bit of a banger here, 136. Okay, 136. Mark that on your charts. 136 and 141. Those are sort of high probability, low time frame reaction zones. Okay, let's talk lickies on Sol. So far, in terms of the Solana game plan that I gave you guys yesterday, was break the 200-day, start a position there. Then we're looking for the retest, and the retest was anything down to 174. What did I say? Possible breakout. Look for Sol to push through. Use the candle close above as your support base, or use the loss of trend as exit. Okay, so that is kind of the game plan here on Sol for me at the moment. And I closed my bonk long, and I closed, I think I had a 𝗬𝗰 long that was actually a bit red, but I closed them, and I said today, I want to focus on Solana here, and I want to make the play for Sol because my target for Sol was this 220 region, and my trigger for that was us breaking the 200-day MA. Obviously, we didn't know that Donald was going to come with his Trump dump and his tariff shit. But yeah, that is where we are at the moment. So they can save themselves with some kind of other news-based situation. So what happened when it was falling over? I had to start trimming that position. So now it's $115,000 long, but earlier today it was about $150,000 long. But to avoid that lickies, I had to start cutting. Okay, so we're going to see how this thing goes now. Let's see if it recovers a little bit for us. I'm obviously very interested in Sol here around about that area. Okay, and in terms of the trade plan that we gave you yesterday on this higher time frame, we can't fault it. Okay, so far it's in play. Okay, upside target is that 21, and the exit for me now is clear. It's a close under 173. Okay, if you close under that low 173, it's done. Okay, and then I think there's going to be a bit of pain in the markets. Okay, so I'm going to leave that thing to lickies. My lickies is sitting at 171 at the moment. Okay, so there it is. You can see it's super tight there. It's just below my entry now, and we'll leave it up to the crypto gods. Okay, so we're going to see how that plays out. Then in terms of 𝗬𝗆, there's been some good news on 𝗬𝗆 and super bullish things happening. And they've got their Jupiter Lend that has obviously come out now recently. That could be pretty bullish. And in terms of action zones for 𝗬𝗆 and things like that, well, there are two big zones for me, okay? And one of them is short zone number 1 in the 64 zone, okay? So watch out. We've had a big news-based pump on 𝗬𝗆, okay? It's been super bullish. Short zone number 1, 64. Makes sense to me. You can see this is a nice region here. We're fighting a little bit. We are printing reversals now on the 12-hour. There could be a little bit of chop in this region before it falls over. If you take into account what happened the last couple of times we printed that reversal sign, you can see there was a little bit of a chop and a reversal, and now you can see 𝗬𝗆 is banging into our first possible short zone. Okay, so there you go. That is a danger area there for us. You can see what happened previously. So monitor this thing. I think if we are going to get red this weekend, this will be a banger region here to start building a short. If we get a pump this weekend, remember, we want to be prepared for all scenarios. We can't tell what news is coming out next now. Is this Genius Act going to get announced? Is the market going to have a final weekend pump and take out all the shorters and all these things? So remember, there's a lot of news-based things happening for us at the moment. And if we do get a pump this weekend, the obvious short zone guys, the same thing we did with WLD. You short this thing at this 200-day MA, okay? A pump into that, a hard pump into that. Don't be scared of the green candle. A hard pump into that zone, 74 up to about 76 is a possible short zone there. For me, it's a macro 382. We've got tons of horizontal in the way that's going to put up a fight. And we've obviously got our 200-day moving average. Okay, so short zone 1, short zone 2 on this 𝗬𝗆. There's no long here for me just yet, okay? Especially with BTC under that trend. We got to be super careful here on that thing. Okay, let's talk 𝗏. Also interesting one. And I covered this briefly on the Zoom this morning. And I actually remember saying 1.1 is an absolute banger. Now, I went into that meeting and I obviously had no opportunity to do anything, but it dropped into that 1.1. And I just want to show you guys again how simple TA can come into play for you. Look at this 1.1 for 𝗏 straight into the 618, okay? And horizontal, absolute banger. And we are teeing up for some kind of divergence print here or some kind of move. So even if this drops a little bit more here, I'm expecting 𝗏 to at least fill the wick or print this lower high and then give some kind of move to the upside. We might not make it all the way. We might get something along those lines, but I would say this is on the table here for us as long as we're holding 1.1 on this 𝗏 at the moment. So watch this zone. Don't be, don't think they can't come fill this wick. 1.1, and then you're going to look for that short-term reversal on the 1 hour, and then you're looking for that little push to the upside. Okay, so I think it's close. Just give it some time and sniff around that 1.1. You should get a move. You should get a short-term move out of that thing, unless there is further capitulation, obviously, in the market. Now, if you caught that long for the bottom, yeah, I would say hold it. Maybe add if you drop into 1.1 and see if you can build something there. A lot of it's going to depend on if BTC does print us our higher low. Okay, so we just want to hold this VWAP here. Okay, all we want to do is hold this 108 guy. Okay, let's see if we can hold that now during the session. Okay, okay, there's Sol, Jupe, we've done. Okay, we're good. WIF's good. Okay, and then let's go. Let's talk hype. Okay, so hype obviously super bullish. It's popped all-time highs, and you obviously want to be careful with this hype situation. This guy, $23 million loss for this whale who bet against hype. Okay, he shorted 1.8 million of these tokens, so it's $57 million worth, and he finally closed his position at $23 million loss. Okay. And I mean, we tried to short hype a couple of times and we got very short moves. We got 5% dips, 6% dips, those types of things. And they kept buying it up while the rest of the market was falling over. So for me, not chasing any hype shorts at the moment. What I suggest, well, for me, my plan is obviously to look for hype long. So we need to let these things settle. We need to see flags. We need to see consolidation. So I think it's just a little bit of patience. And for me, the real opportunity on hype is going to come at the next big market dump. So the next big market sell-off is going to give us an opportunity to buy hype at probably a nice discount. And you'll probably see a quick sell, and then that thing will be bought up really quickly, in my opinion. And what I want to do now with you guys is just identify the main zone where we should get some kind of reaction. And we're going to keep it really, really simple here on this hype. Now, I know when you look at these things, you sometimes say, oh, it's not possible. But that is your first big zone, this 28 guy. It's a massive, massive region. And I think if you get it there in some kind of bearish conditions, I think it's going to be a hell of a trade at some point. So just mark that. Put your alarm on in that zone, and let's wait and see. Obviously, there is a possibility that over this weekend, we start seeing some kind of consolidation on hype, and then they're going to give us information that we can work with. Okay, once we have some kind of information we can play with, then we can start reacting accordingly. Okay, so we might get a flag breakout or something, but for me, there's no trade right now. We just want to wait and see how this plays out. Let's get some movement this weekend, and then we'll see. Who says game over? $23 million loss. Look, it's got to burn. It's got to burn. Okay, it's got to burn a little bit, no matter how hardened you are. Now, this WorldCoin is in the news, and now these guys, Selene Capital, wrote its largest ever check into WorldCoin recently. Okay, so I mean, they've just done this announcement here. They're obviously trying to like keep this price going up for whatever reason, but yeah, they obviously involved now. Okay, there's a lot of investment going into this WLD, and this was the first banger here, short off the 200-day moving average, guys, straight into that region. I'm still sitting in this situation here. There it is, and it's $37,000 short here at the moment. So just leaving it for now. Okay, a nice little short, and then I grabbed the tiny Nuding short, but nothing to write home about just yet. But it's starting to bleed a little bit at the moment. Virtual for me, yeah, it's a difficult one. Virtual for me, it's a big question for me now. You know, do I cut this thing in this big zone if we get one more pump out of the market? So it's one of these questions I'm obviously asking myself now at the moment. But that WLD, nice short zone. Okay, the 200-day MA, you short these things, you pump into the 200-day, and you can look for those reactions. So no reason to close this thing yet. We could just get some kind of flag here on WLD, and then we'll see where it goes. You know, it might actually capitulate this weekend, and then we'll get a nice dip there on that WLD. So just be careful. There's no fresh entry there on WLD at the moment. Now, this is the one that's bothering me, James. Am I closing this thing?
I don't know.
That is not helpful.
Close half and let half run. That way you got no FOMO either way.
We close the whole thing, or we send it to zero. Those are the options. There's no in between for me.
Well, let it run then. Let it run. Pray to the crypto gods. Okay,
so, guys, yeah, this is a tough one because this virtual, I've been watching this virtual to 2.6 and 2.43 for a while. We've been waiting for these targets. And obviously this range is very, very interesting. Okay, we are back in this range now. And if we start blowing out of this thing, I'm expecting quite an explosive move out of this virtual.
Shall we let the chat decide?
Guys, let the chat decide. Yes,
all right.
Let the chat decide. Okay, guys,
let us know.
Let me know in the chats. James is going to watch the chats. Okay, you can see the virtual position is $5,500 up. That's a couple of handbags. Okay, let me know what to do. James is going to watch the chats. Okay, whatever you guys tell me to do, I'm going to do it. Okay.
My name is Jeff.
That's it.
Oh, here's another question. Okay, I'm going to ask you another question just now. just first tell me, must I close virtual? Okay, James is going to tell me what the guys are saying there in the chats. Okay, okay. So there's the plan for virtual, guys. In terms of if this thing drops, it's a very responsive token. We know that. And in terms of major support, we cannot argue 1.88 is your big support level. Okay, until proven otherwise. So if there's a sell-off this weekend, 1.88, guys, that's where it's at for me. In terms of the oscillator, yeah, it's not great. But again, looking for that divergence always. I love that divergence print, and sometimes you just get that extra little pump out the market. And Julius says, give it to Jim. keep it coming, guys. I want your opinion here. Keep it coming. H2 Bull goes, leave it degen style. What if Jeff is actually Cole? That's a question. Okay, so there, guys, virtual, we got to wait and see how that plays out. Now, 𝗎and 𝗎𝗍, okay, there was news on them. They were listed on Robinhood Spot, okay, so that is why there was such extreme pumpage yesterday, and I had such FOMO because FJ and some of the other guys that took that 𝗎trade on that live show I did with Dupes the other day, they held on to it, those psychos, and I closed mine quite early, and those filthy degens printed so much cash. And let me know who else got some of this 𝗎. Now, in terms of potential bounce areas, let's just look at a degen level. Now, remember, these things often sell off, okay? After these big listing announcements, there's often a major sell-off in these things, and it doesn't necessarily mean that the market is going to love them and come back and continue to buy them. But if you're looking for a degen play this weekend and you're looking for some fun, what you can do is you can play between 27.1 and 2.6. Okay, so put your alarms on here. You've got VWAP support, you've got 618, okay, and you've got that 382 in that zone as well. There might be another pump here on this thing. Okay, it's obviously we need bullish conditions. We need the altcoins to be waking up a little bit. But if you're looking for something that can fire, you're looking for something that's going to give you a quick move, and you don't want to necessarily sit in ETH and make 2%, this could be something. Obviously, it comes with more risk. But 272 down to 260. That type of move makes sense to me. If we close under that trend, then obviously you're jumping out. Right now, you're just waiting for this 2 hour to start reversing. So just give it time. Let it figure out what it wants to do. Watch it. Keep your eyes on it. And look at this zone, 272 to 260. Okay, that could be a nice little play for you. Remember, these super volatile tokens, you go small position, low leverage, big move. When you get momentum, you add to them. Okay, so you never start these things off 20x leverage, full clip, all those types of things, unless you like getting rinsed. Okay, so you go slowly, and then all of a sudden it pops, and then you can add to that momentum, and then you can ride that thing up. Okay, so in terms of longs, just wait patiently for this thing. If you're going to try it, you want your risk to be as low as possible, and that, for me, the safer zone, 272 to 260 is the safer zone there, in my opinion. Now, let's go another listing. What happens to something that pumps? They get listed. And this is the general rule. Guys, remember this, okay? Remember what I'm saying here right now, okay? If a token gets an upward listing or a Robinhood listing or whatever listing, and you see an extreme candle pump, rule number one, obviously don't chase it. But rule number two, get your chart out, find your high impact rejection zones, and look for shorts in those areas. It happens time and time again that it gets sent to these massive regions. Now, here's a prime example for you guys. 𝗎gets listed. What does it pump into? Bang. The 200-day MA. Look at WLD. Okay, WLD, news comes out on WLD. What does it pump into? 200-day MA. Bang. Okay, rejection. So just remember this. It doesn't happen often because we play around that 200-day MA over months and months and months. So it comes about every now and again. Okay, and just make sure you are ready. When you see those pumps, they give you these opportunities here. Now, what is the play, okay, on 𝗎? So, we can't suddenly decide, oh no, we're super bullish now on 𝗎, because look what happened last time there was a pump. Okay, we had a massive sell-off here. So what I would suggest is there's a possible short play on the next market push up. So if this weekend it goes bullish, what typically could happen here with this 𝗎 is that they can push it back up now, and you can create a double top under that 200-day, just like you've seen on ETH. Okay, look for that. Okay, that's a potential nice bearish second bite at a possible short here on this 𝗎. So if you're trying to short it now, you're obviously putting yourself in extreme danger. That's 12% to the upside. So what you want to do is you want to wait for strength, and you're going to use a key zone to try and lock something in there. Okay, so 𝗎up to 48, 47.8, up to 49.5, somewhere in that region, probably grab some of the stops and then a possible short opportunity there for you guys. Okay, so that is how you can play that now. Again, I really strongly advise against jumping into a green, big, strong guard candle like that on a listing. It often ends in tears. Okay, so be careful with that one. Then 𝗏 is back in the mix. So 𝗏's ripping again. It's now, what, a $1.5 billion market cap, making it worth more than quantum computing qubit, IMAX, Papa John's Pizza, AMC, all these stocks. I mean, can you believe? I actually can't believe this shit.
No, it's ridiculous. It really is, but it's hilarious too.
Oh, fuck, you know. I mean, it's Altcoin and it's bigger than all those guys. Okay, so let's talk some degen plays here for this weekend. Let's see, where can we get some Altcoin action this weekend? So if we get a little sell-off now in the market, where can we start looking for a little bit of fun? Okay, and ideally we want to catch it on a fib and horizontals tied in with with some order blocks and whatever we can get. This is a great start. Okay, so what we can see here is our oscillators turn bearish, bang, 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 all that divergence. What you want to see now, let this thing come back. Okay, some of our best Altcoin trades are when we get these reversal prints. Look at these reversal prints and you get these nice moves on the charts. Okay, so we're going to let this thing come down to us. And you got to be patient, but your first zone you want to start looking is your wick fill, 1.46. Okay, look around here. This is a high probability reaction zone. You can see we've reacted on it once already, and 1.46. So you might get something there. If it takes a while to come down here, you're going to see this VWAP creeping up, and that look for a wick onto that VWAP. So look for something there. Alternatively, this weekend, if we get another sell, another push down, I think you're probably going to get even a short-term long on Altcoin. You're going to get a short-term long here, 1.35 down to 1.34, somewhere in that region. So that is probably your highest probability zone where you might get a sustained move. You might get, like, say, 12-15% out of this thing. Maybe the highs, it depends how it goes. But first zone, 1.46. And then next zone, 1.35. Okay, look out there. This could be something here for you guys, a little reaction there. And you always, as always, depends on your time frame that you're trading. I obviously watch the 2 hour a hell of a lot. But let's take a look at the one here and let's see how close we are to a possible 1 hour. Normally paints a picture. Yeah, so the 1 hour, a little bit longer. You probably need a couple more candles here, and then let's see how that starts settling. But in terms of high probability zones, those are the two that make sense to me now. Okay, so if you're going to get a reaction, it's one of those two areas. I wouldn't do anything in between. Okay, so just wait. Okay, let it come down, Teach yourself patience. Okay, Saga. I think we should short this. Okay, so Saga, is Dave in the chat here? Is he here? Is he around? I saw him in the chat just now. Okay, so Saga heavily overbought on that 4 hour RSI. Okay, it's still looking good, yeah, on that 4. Okay, let's, where's this thing? Okay, so why has it dropped, James? And it's still showing it's up. What's going on here? It's still pushing up, but it's now dropping out of this overbought zone. Okay, so look, in terms of Saga, maybe we can have a crack here. Okay, let's look on some lower time frame levels here. Okay, so we got heavily overbought signals. Let's just try and look at history. We want to see how these charts react in these zones. Okay, what happened here? Okay, double, it carried on going. What happened there? We had a short little dip. What happened there? It wasn't convincing. Okay, now we've got the double print again. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's look at our risk. Okay, you got a 10% risk here. 4 hour looks heavily overbought. Let's look at our 12. Bullish daily. Okay, look at our 2. I think this thing's close to rolling over. Okay, it's going to print divergence again here, possibly. Okay, you can see there's a lower high situation there as well. Okay, I'm going to try a small short here on this thing. I'm going to do it on Blowfin here. Let's see if we've got this token. Oh, guys, I closed Pyth. I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you that chart in a second. It hit the 50-day MA. That was our target, and it was time. Okay, it was time to close. Okay, I'm going to start a small short here. We've got to monitor this thing because it can obviously start pushing higher. Okay, so I'm going to take a small short position here. This is entry number 1. We're going to take a few entries on this thing. So we're going to start very small. We're just going to get in the game. Okay, it's an isolated 7x. We're just getting in the game here. If this thing starts pumping, let's break down this chart here as to where this thing can go. I hope you guys aren't buying this now and while I'm trying to short this thing. Okay, what you're going to be watching here, your risk. Okay, the reason I'm buying so small is because there's this whole pocket here of interest here, that whole region here to the upside. Okay, you got to watch this area here. I'm looking for anything in that zone. So you're going to see this trend pushing higher. Then you're going to see some kind of play around here. And once you lose that trend, you start aping a little bit harder in that short. Okay, so watching this to play out now. So I've grabbed a little bit here. I'm going to set orders higher here. 438, 452, and then a close above 4.6 is probably an exit plan. So you go super small, super low leverage, you let it build into it so that your last couple of orders are super low percentages in terms of risk. And then when it starts rolling over, you start pumping it, you start adding more to that position. Okay, so we're looking for a slow mover. Look out for a push up here. Look out for wicks. Look out for all these types of things. Close above this 46 is going to be a danger zone for me. Okay, so we're going to tee up some orders higher up there. And remember, keep them balanced. Don't ape. Okay, you don't ape on these shorts. You just build them slowly into these areas. And you can see our oscillators are getting very tired here at the moment. And Jake, all the stuff that I talk about is actually available in my accelerator course. So I combine all the TA that I use with the hot zones, and I use it with the oscillator and all these other indicators that you see on the show that you see I use, and we marry them together. Okay, and what you're going to see here on the accelerator is workshop number 2 is coming in hot for you guys on Tuesday. And I'm actually telling you how I've passed the Bitfunded challenge accounts. And I've actually got DJ and Dave and some of the other hackers teams. They're also trading on Bitfunded now as well, because anybody who completes the accelerator school is going to get a Bitfunded challenge for free. Okay, but you got to complete the accelerator course. And here's the Bitfunded challenge accounts. I've passed 2 accounts here. There was a third one. I got rinsed on it in a market dump, but now I've got 2 left. And I've got a strategy that I use to pass them, and I'm going to teach it at my workshop for you guys. So, James, there you go. In short, that's the Accelerator School. The link is in the show description. It's all there waiting for you guys. Just click on more, and it's going to be there in the show description for you guys. Okay, so let's see how that goes. So, Saga. Where's our Saga? Okay, so guys, Saga, we're going to try and build this thing slowly. Okay, we're going to see how this thing plays out now this weekend. And obviously, in terms of backup zones, remember, you need a backup plan. And the backup plan for me is this next big banger up here. And you're looking at about 50. Okay, 49.50. That is going to be your next major rejection zone. Okay, I know nothing about this fundamentally, James. I don't know if you've ever heard of this thing, but in terms of where this thing can go, look where that 200-day MA is. It's a little bit scary. If this thing is still fundamentally alive, fuck me. And that thing can go. Okay, so guys, just be careful here. If we get momentum, we're going to try and ride this thing back down. Okay, so you can see there's a nice trend here, something like that. And if we get a nice rejection, something like this, bang, and then we look to ride this thing down. Okay, and then it might bounce again. Okay, so that's our bearish hedge play there for us. And for those of you that are sitting long and you're looking for some ideas to the downside, that could be one of them. Then in terms of Ondo, yeah, it's not doing what we wanted it to do, James. I wanted the blow off top on Ondo. So waiting patiently, you can see we got a reaction here on the 100-day MA. And we're going to have to see how this thing plays out now. I was trying to chase this channel to the upside. We want to see this obviously push right up to the top there. And that's our high confluence short zone, our 200-day MA. We got a massive area there. So, yeah, alarm is on. I'm waiting. They must pump us into that zone. We're waiting there. And that for me is a big short area there. Then in terms of Pyth, guys, why did I close Pyth? Well, it pumped into our first target, which was our 50-day moving average. And I actually saw a message from Dave while I was in that meeting. And on that dip, he bought Pyth again. Okay, he bought Pyth on that dip there. It looked like a 618 potentially. So in terms of Pyth, let's give you fresh support for anybody who's still sitting in it. And let's just get into a little bit of a degen play here and just try and see where our main support is. And this Pyth super bullish on this current soul strength. Look at that. And where a lot of these others are falling over. Guys, any surprises here? 618, bang. Okay, 618, straight into the 618. You had it on whiff. You had it on so many things. Always be prepped. When the market's dipping and you're in front of your screen, just make sure you do the work a little bit before so that you can react at these right times. Okay, so you can see Pyth 132. That's your main support there on Pyth. And then in terms of potential upside zones. You can see what we have here is a possible downtrend, and we can only really start getting super excited again when we start blowing through the downtrend and obviously through our 50-day moving average. So I would say be super careful here until we start cracking this big dog over there. That is 146. That is our major zone over there. So what you want to see is obviously a pop through here. You probably reject, and then maybe you get a little bit of action there. Other than that, I would say wait for the wick fill, and then there's a possible long lower down there at 132. Is pretty much what it looks like there to be. Yeah, so Chi is right. There's no sell pressure anymore, and you heard it from chart hackers first, guys. Panda came out with that banger 3-4 days ago. And what a banger trade. What an absolute banger. And yeah, so I closed it, guys. It hit my first target. We're going to have to see how that plays out. Okay, so yeah, I've started a small saga. It's a tiny position here, 7x. Let's see what happens. If we get a push up, it might be an opportunity to add a little bit there and start growing this thing. Okay, shitcoin casino. Let's look at Popcat, okay? And let's see what happened to Popcat. What fibs did it hit? Let's go. Fibs from the low to the high, bang. And what did we hit? We probably hit our 0.5 here. Let's see where we go. Okay, bang, just above that 0.5. So in terms of what happens next for Popcat, possible wick fill as well. Look at that. I'm just going to mark this zone here for you guys. We just want this nice and clear. So 5-1 for me on Popcat. You can see I've got a VWAP coming in. So yeah, I think just wait. There's a nice VWAP here as well. So 5-1. Okay, look out there. That makes sense to me on a little bit more weakness in the market. 51 could be a player there. And yeah, I wouldn't look, just be careful any lower than that. Okay, and then in terms of the 2 hour, you can see that 2 hours bearish. So that might indicate that it wants to bleed lower. So don't ape everything into these things at these types of zones. Okay, just check Grok Saga just completed mainnet upgrade. That is probably why it's pumping. Okay, so yeah, they've completed their upgrade. And what is the logic behind this? Okay, so everyone's known it's coming, blah, blah, blah. Now they've completed their upgrade. Now there might be a pump. Does it change everything? I don't know. It's a tricky one. But is it at resistance? Yes. Is there another resistance zone a little bit higher up if it pumps some more? Yes. I think these are two big possible short zones here. We obviously just have to see how it reacts now when it actually pumps into that first level. So just be patient. Okay, we play this thing slowly. And guys, big news, obviously. And I see Lloyd's giving me a target. Oh, wait, we're going to talk about that now. Live trading, hackers live trading tomorrow on the weekend for you guys. And we feel it's time. You know, you guys get very lonely. The hackers guys get super lonely on the weekends. And we've got this amazing team. So we're going to show you what it's all about. Live trading here on Banter Plus. Make sure you subscribe and your notifications are on. I can't guarantee what time it is. It depends on the market. But we're going to bring out the Panda. We're going to bring out Jason as well. And some of the other guys. So be ready for that. Some weekend breakouts or weekend dumps or all these types of things going on. Cunning George says higher low loading. Now, James, tell me, what was the consensus in the chat, sir? Am I closing virtual or am I leaving it open?
No, they'd like to gamble your money, actually. They want you to leave it.
Fucking A, guys. You are my people. One of us. Okay, one of us.
There was a lot of take half, but that wasn't an option. They didn't listen to the option.
No, it's send me or end me. It's send me or end me.
Send you was the general consensus then.
I didn't come here for a long time. I came here for a good time. Okay. So there's virtual. Okay. We are $5,500 up. This thing must pump. I'm still sitting in that Bitcoin long. It did cut some of that. Unfortunately, it's 150 long now. Yeah. Okay, guys. So look, I'm still leaning long. Okay. Let's see if I'm going to take lickies on Sol. Sol's okay. Okay. Sol's okay, guys. As long as Sol is above this, is above that 200 and we're holding at 172, 173. Yeah, yeah, we're gonna throw it. We're gonna go. We're gonna go.
Maybe a double bottom here on the short time frame, right? They just filled some of that wick and they're gonna send it back up. It's possible because everyone's. Jason talked about this. Trader Jade just before this in a little stage before the show here, saying, "Listen, they're gonna drop it down just enough to get everyone to panic out of their positions in a loss, and then they'll fucking send it after you panicked out." Quite possible.
Okay, and remember, guys, what do? Zoom out. All Bitcoin did was dip into its daily. Thanks very much. Bang on the daily. Okay, it's a no panic zone. It's literally a no panic zone. If you zoom out enough, you realize you don't need to panic. You follow the big zones. If you're panicking in between the big zones, you're trading too much leverage. You're trading too big, and you're putting yourself under stress. Don't do that. Zoom out. Look where you are. Okay, Maruk, thank you. Sol is going to go. I mean, wait. There, Thomas. I see Thomas is back. Okay, this
it's
guy,
the chicken
Thomas.
bowl.
Thomas, what a legend. Okay, Thomas made me the original bullhorn. He's been watching for years. I mean, Thomas has been around since I was teaching the students back in the day. Okay, so yeah, Thomas, thanks for the bullhorn, bro. And never forget Thomas. Okay, Bruce says load up. And Maruk, are you long or you short? Tell me what you're doing here. She just entered hype. Is she long or is she short?
Hopefully not long. Holy shit. That thing's been running for days.
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm a bit wary of shorting hype. That's obviously
it's dangerous.
Okay, cool. Guys, James, thanks. Live trading tomorrow, guys. Make sure your notifications are on. Okay, sweet. James, see you later. Okay, everybody, have a good weekend. We'll see you guys later.